Caution: this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. Sign City was a pair of buildings located just south of Shibuya Scramble Crossing. The east building was located next to Shibuya Station. There was a small plaza just inside the entrance, which was often used as a meeting spot, even if it wasn't as famous as the Hachiko or Moyai statues. A dozen or so people were in there now, waiting and playing with their phones. One of them was standing alone with a curiously stern expression on her face. She was a teenage girl named Sena Aoi. If you went down the escalator on the second floor of Sign City, the one that fucking sound, the one that led away from the Inokashira line station, you would see her there, leaning against a white pillar, watching her surroundings carefully. Despite her stern expression in the season, she was nibbling on a popsicle. It was kind of cute in a way. Of course, she wasn't waiting for anyone. She was quietly observing the people coming and going around her. From where she was standing, you could see all the way to the big TVs at Scramble Crossing. They were showing a promo for some famous singer. At the bottom of the screen was a scrolling line of text talking about the Nugent murders. Not a day went by when she didn't see something about Nugent. The TV, the papers, the net, the magazines, even the big TVs in the city. Senna wasn't interested in them at all, but walking through Shibuya, she would often hear people talking about the murders. Whose eyes are those? Lately, she'd been seeing people wearing t-shirts with that question printed across their fronts. It had gotten its start as an underground meme in Shibuya, and now it was getting out of control. Somebody at a Harajuku gift shop had started selling t-shirts, and they'd sold pretty well. At least, that's what she'd heard a smiling man say as he passed by her on the street. It was a good sign of how little people cared about anything but themselves. Senna gave a little snort of contempt before she ate the last bit of her popsicle. She closed her eyes, the stern expression still on her face. She listened to the noise of the city. On Sundays, the area around the station was filled with many different sounds. The trains rattling into the station, taxi horns talking as people taxi horns, people talking as they walked. Music from the big TVs and inside the shops at Sign City, announcements endlessly telling you how to safely ride an escalator. The sounds never stopped. As soon as one ended, another took its place. All the different sounds layered together into a dissonant jumble of static. Senna focused on the noise, directing her attention to the people's voices. Her brain shut out any other sound, so she could hear the words clearly.
結局全部同じ犯人なのかな。
違うってニュースで言ってたぞ。手口が違いすぎるって。
怖くね？バンドの歌詞と一緒らしいじゃん。ファンタズムだ。お前
今時ファンタズム知らないなんてさ。
CD 貸せよ。
くれてるよな。
ほら、これ見てくれ。この前からで
超ゲルのメタルの
結構来るじゃね。
マジで来てるやつ初めて見た。
でもあれじゃね、これってニュージェネの犯人に
俺の顔が
殺してくださいってアピールしてるようなもんじゃん。
俺も
I'd be famous.
最近渋谷超怖い。マジ嘘で歩けねえもん。何をしようなんか。そういうやつが暮らし殺されるから言うか。うっせえおじさんたち女だし。キモい男とかだけ殺してほしいよね。マジ応援する。
Senna let out a little grunt. She stopped listening almost immediately. The noise offered her nothing useful. In the end, the noise was just noise.
この視線の感覚。
This sensation of being watched. Am I imagining it? Senna looked around one more time. For a while now, she'd had this awful feeling, like a cold finger running down her spine. Someone's gaze was upon her, but she couldn't find out who it was. Cinna stepped away from the pillar she'd been leaning up against. And then, as if she remembered she was holding it, she stared down at the popsicle stick in her hand. Not a winner, huh? She looked even more upset as she walked quickly toward. Why is that sky so blue, like it makes you want to cry? Because that's what I wished for. I didn't wish for it. I did. She's barefoot. This is your mental world, but it's mine too. Hey, where can I find that sky? Anywhere if you wish for it. Is it okay for me to wish? Sedaton was calling me. Yesterday's Blood Tune was such a great episode. Sedaton had a lot of cool scenes, and there was also a sexy kiss. The animation was top-notch quality, too. Sedaton was and being super moe about it, too. I had no choice but to get up. I ripped the covers off the soda. Did it get dirtier in here? When I hit the switch on the alarm, Sedaton's voice abruptly stopped. Good morning, Sedaton. My Seta voice alarm was a treasure of mine. If you didn't flip the switch, the volume would gradually get louder and louder before switching to an intense buzzer sound. I wanted to start my morning waking up with Sedaton, which meant I always tried to flip the switch before the buzzer sounded. I'd only ever failed twice. Waking up with Sedaton always put me in a good mood. Well, no, actually, playing games all night and sleeping on the hard sofa made me feel like crap, but having Sedaton wake me up did make a little bit of the pain go away. Today was a school day. I'd missed a full day last week, and it was starting to throw off my schedule. I was supposed to only go twice this week, but thanks to that, I'd have to go 3 times. I didn't want to go, but I had to. Any more skipping, and I couldn't graduate. To be honest, even if I couldn't graduate, it wouldn't make that big of a difference to me. Yes, it would. Your parents would stop footing your bills. They would probably tell you you're a bum-ass nigga. You're coming home right now. I had a dream about Remy. It was a strange dream. Somehow nostalgic. Somehow lonely. Somehow sad. And somehow incredibly distant. I wonder if she was coming to school today. I'd spent a lot of time thinking about what happened 2 days ago. I'd spent so much time thinking about it that it cut into my ESO time. I didn't want to think much about Shogun, or the delusion of the empty Shibuya. That didn't seem all that important to me. All of it was most likely just a delusion of mine. It was hard to believe that Shogun could be an old man like that. Thinking back, the idea of every single person disappearing from Shibuya just seemed silly. It was a very realistic delusion, but I found myself embarrassed by how easily I'd believe something so impossible could happen. This nigga is Seto Kaiba. This nigga is the ring. This nigga is like the slandering king Dio Yarnman said. This nigga is the denial king Seto Kaiba's apprentice. He was holy shit. Lord forgive me. What was more important was Remy, the girl I'd called the demon girl until just a little bit ago. In that place, where it felt like a strange floating dream, she'd held me tight, and I could still remember the feeling of her body. If she hadn't done that, I might have gone crazy. Why had Remy saved me? Was it because we were friends? I didn't have memories of us being at classmates since our first year, or going to see a movie with her and Misumi. But the way she treated me was the way you'd treat a good friend. When she'd held me tight, she'd looked a little like she was about to cry. Then that at least, didn't seem like an act she was putting on. I'd never met a girl who'd cry over a creepy otaku like me. After seeing it, The fear and suspicion I'd felt had just blown away. In fact, I almost felt like I could fall in love with her, though I stopped myself from going that far. What I felt most was uncertainty. How should I face Remy from here on out? Was she my friend or my enemy? Was she responsible for the Nugent murders? It was an undeniable fact that she'd saved me, but it was also true that I had seen her covered in blood at the site of the crucified murder. I stopped at Shoto Park on my way to school. Ever since the incident with Yua, I'd quit my habit of eating breakfast here. The idea that Yua could be out there somewhere watching me made it impossible to enjoy my meal. Yeah, where is she? I miss her. And even worse, if she came to talk to me, I'd have to listen to a bunch more delusional nonsense. I didn't have time to deal with her. Yua works for Remy. That was my original idea, but it may have been wrong. That didn't mean Yua wasn't my enemy, though. Maybe Shogun was the big boss, and Yua was working for him. Whatever the case, it'd be best if I stayed away from her. But today, I'd come here for some reason anyway. I looked around carefully to make sure Yua was nowhere to be seen. Then I slowly sat down on my bench. I took a bite out of the chocolate pastry I'd bought at the convenience store and looked out at the lake. There was barely any wind, and the water surface was still calm. Once in a while, I could see what might be a carp moving through the cloudy water. There was nobody in the park today, which was rare. It was a quiet space. I looked around the park. I found myself thinking about Remy again. And to be honest, I'd almost decided not to go to school today, just to avoid facing her again. That's why I'd come here to the park to buy some time. It felt like I'd said all kinds of awful things to her, but she'd always smiled and been kind to me. And I was sure if I went to school again, she'd come up to talk to me like she always had. She'd pretended that we'd experienced in front of the one. She'd pretend that what we experienced in front of the 107 had never happened. She'd smile and treat me like her friend. Part of her constantly cheerful nature did seem a little obnoxious, but it also felt like if I stayed with her, I might start to feel cheerful too. What should I say when I meet her? I didn't think of her as a demon anymore, but it was also true that I didn't think of her as a friend. Misumi had said she and I had been friends and classmates for over a year and a half, but I had no memories of that at all. Maybe something had broken within me after all. But could my memories of Remy disappear while everything else remained intact? Is that possible? I went into the school hallway. I did my usual thing of walking slowly on the side of the hallway while I headed for the stairs. My class was on the third floor. It was kind of a pain to get there. I wish there was an escalator. You fucking lazy, miserable ass. Oh hey, it's Orihara. Saw a girl slowly staggering up them. She was dragging her right leg. Did she sprain it or something? Her tiny body was kind of wobbling as she walked. She looked like she might fall over at any minute. The other students were quickly passing by her, while she went slowly up each step. From below, I could... Crap, if I didn't do something, I'd look like a pervert. I didn't want anybody calling me a creep. I tried to quickly walk past her when... she falls. The girl tripped on the stairs and staggered forward. Well, thank... Like, I wish she didn't fall over on her face, but at least he didn't see her underwear. Because that would have been a shitty moment. That would have been like a very tropey and would have pissed me off. Like I'm a Star Walker. Fortunately, she was standing on the landing when she'd fallen, so she ended up rolling down the stairs. But she was just lying up there on her knees, not moving. Was this to be? Not a not a chance. Even if it was, I didn't have the courage to talk to her. Bum alert! Oh my god! Fuck you, Takumi Nishijo. Sorry, but get help from Misumi or somebody else who likes 3D girls. And don't expect anything from me. Girl still wasn't moving. I started get a little worried. When I got halfway up the second set of stairs, I turned around to check on her. She was clinging to the railing and trying her hardest to stand up. Her knees were shaking like she was a newborn deer. There was blood on her knee. Maybe she'd scraped it. Ah. I'd seen her face somewhere. Was she the one who transferred into my class last week? What was her name again? I couldn't remember. She was crying, too. Did it hurt that badly? Sure, it was a bad fall, but it shouldn't have been enough to make her cry. Nobody else was trying to help her. She finally managed to just barely stand up, but then began to look down at her knee. She seemed to be checking how badly it was hurt. She wiped away her tears, and then put it out her bag and started to rummage through it. What was she trying to find, I wondered. She suddenly pulled something out of her bag and held it above her head like she'd won a great victory. In her fingers, she held a bandage. Our eyes met. She quickly flushed with embarrassment and looked down. Well, she seemed okay. She didn't need my help at least, right? I decided to just head to my classroom and leave her there. I kept my head down and my gaze glued into my feet. Mashallah, lower your gaze. I arrived at my seat wordlessly. Actually, hadn't that girl said something to me on the day she transferred here? I'd forgotten all about it with what had happened with Rimi. But what had she meant?
Yo, Taku.
Hey, Taku! As always, Misumi said hello to me. Maybe he didn't have any friends besides me. That would explain why he only ever seemed to talk to me, at least. Get this! I saw these two weird guys going into the principal's office the other day. Huh? So, Rimi and I decided to sneak a listen, and guess what? The two of them were detectives. Really? Who would have fucking guessed? Detectives? They were looking at a list of names and students in the school, and they had these really serious looks on their faces. Maybe it's got something to do with Nugent, do you think? Maybe the Nugent killer goes to our school? For some reason, I'd found myself thinking of Rimi's face. Something's up with you. Something's up with you. Get the fuck on, girl. My body froze. Speak of the devil. I heard Rimi's voice and my heart rate jumped. Couldn't look up. I was too nervous. It was a totally different type of nervousness than what I'd felt last week, though. That's because you opened the door. Do you understand? Don't blame me. I've never seen a real detective before, so I got all excited and I accidentally... How do you accidentally open a door? Thanks to that, even I got questioned by them. Did you do something you don't want the police to know about, Daichin? What about you? Who knows? I think you knows. The two of them were talking, one on each side of my desk. They were both totally ignoring me. But to be honest, I preferred it that way. If Rini talked to me, I wasn't sure I could answer back. I was hoping that the bell would ring, but when I looked at the clock, there were 5 more minutes until first bell. Hey, Taku. Did you see Kozue on your way here? Kozue? Who's that? Oh, right. I was thinking you would remember, and I guess you don't. The girl who transferred in last week, Kozue Orihara. Oh, her name is Kozue Orihara. On the stairs. The stairs? I saw her. Oh, okay. She'll be here soon, then. Misumi's voice was filled with eager anticipation. I hadn't seen him this alive since he found out Fess was a girl in the next class over a few days ago. I'd never seen him excited about anything that involved girls, actually. Come to think of it, hadn't he tried to hit on the transfer student on her first day, too? It was kind of impressive, actually. Especially since he already had a girlfriend. Hey, don't you think that Kozue's really cute? I wasn't sure how to answer that. I gave him a vague nod. He seemed to take it as a yes. Right? I liked her at first sight. She's the kind of girl who makes you feel like you have to decide her, right? All the guys in class agree. They all think she's cute, but the girls don't really like her. She just transferred here, right? But some of them are even saying she's annoying. Too many girls in this class have really nasty personalities. Misa Kettle talking about the pots.
それって大臣のせいじゃないの？
That's your fault, isn't it, Daichin?
大体そのう
Let
ざ
me
いって
guess, the one who said she was annoying was your girlfriend, right? Hmm?
ああそうだけど
Oh yeah, why?
そりゃあ彼女
Well,
に
of
してみれば
course your girlfriend's not going to like her. Her boyfriend started hitting on the girl right in front of her.
私でさえよく
Even I got hassled a lot. Stay away from my daisuke, she says. Actually, a bunch of girls have
し
told
か
me
も
that.
一人じゃなくて何
マジ
Really?
自覚な
You
し
seriously don't
少し
realize?
反省したら
Why not try to change your ways a little?
いやーもう
It sure is tough being popular, huh? Heh.
これだよ
This is what I'm talking about. You're an enemy to women everywhere. I won't be backing you up from now on, okay?
あ折原さ
Oh,
ん来た
there's Orihara.
なんか
She looks like she's hurt, doesn't she?
本当だどうしたの
Yeah. That concerned ass expression. I thought she was doing the fucking blank stare from the crucifixion. It was from when she tripped and stepped on the staircase. Of course, I didn't tell them that. For now, I wanted to minimize the amount of time I spent talking to Rimi.
ちょっと言ってくれ
I'll go check. Misumi ran off towards the transfer student. Rimi was now the only one standing next to me. Please, Misumi, don't leave me. Yeah, the last one I chose was him. Rimi didn't say anything, but she didn't make any move to leave either. Kept staring down at my desk, so I couldn't see the look on her face. I could only see her waist, but I could tell that she was facing at me. She was looking at me. Right. Rimi loved Fantasy Go. I would have to work up my courage and act natural.
おはよう
Good morning, Sakihata.
おはよ
Yeah, good morning. Okay, good. First contact had worked out well. Gave a sigh of relief, but Rimi
う
frowned
ねえ
slightly.
タク
Hey, Taku, why are you suddenly using that weird name for me?
妙竹林
Weird name?
先畑さん
Sakihata. It's kind of
なんだか
distant.
他人今までみたいに呼んで
Call me what you always call me. Demon girl? Did I always call her? I wasn't sure what that was, but... okay, Rimi.
なんだい
Yeah,
タク
what is it, Taku? Nothing,
じゃ
really.
あ確かに
Okay,
一
let me
言
tell you something. She coughed and looked around to make sure no one was watching before bringing her face close to
タク
mine.
は大地みた
Don't
いに
end
な
up
っ
like
ちゃダメ
Daichin,
だよ
okay?
ああいう女たらし
Guys
が
like
いつ
that
かひど
always
い
be
目
a
に遭
bad
うに決まってるから
end
うん
Oh,
肝に銘じて
I'll
おくよ
remember.
うんうん
Good,
タクの
good.
そういう素
I
直
like
な
what a
とこ
good boy you
ろ
are,
私好
Taku.
きだな
You like me, huh? Wait, was I good?
そもそも私
You know,
大地に
there's one thing that really annoys me about
彼
Daichin.
だけあちこちの
He
女子に
talks to
声
all
かけ
those
てる
other
のに
girls, but he never
私に
gives
は
me
全
even a
く見た
glance.
時もひどいと思わない
Don't you think that's really mean? Huh?
ミスミ
You
君
want
に
Misumi to hit on me?
口説かれたいの
Well, it would only make sense if he did. He was attractive and fun to talk to. Even if he was a playboy, I could still see girls wanting to date him. Rimi, however, gave an obvious
タ
frown.
ク冗談きつい
That's not
よ
funny, Taku.
大地に口説かれる
Just the
なんて
thought of him hitting on me
想像
makes
した
my
だけ
hair
で
stand on end. She wrapped her arms around herself and shivered dramatically.
私
No,
もう
Thank you.
でもなんて言うのかな
But it's like,
女
as
と
a
しての
girl,
プライ
I've
ド
got my
って
pride,
いう
you know?
のねタクから見
What do
て
you think, Taku?
私ってどう
Am I attractive?
魅力ある
Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Nice and... She said, I'm a sliding. That was a... She is throwing you fucking 3 buckets. She's throwing you 3s, nigga. Hit them shits green. Alright? You are completely unguarded. Well, I mean, it's a delusion, but still. Nigga, you are completely unguarded. Go ahead and hit these fucking... Hit these green shits. Well, well. Her eyes were gleaming with excitement, and her chest was puffed out with anticipation. Well, I'm sure. I guess she was attractive, but it took courage to say it out loud. No. No. No, no. No one likes to admit
若さゆえの過
the
ちという
mistakes
も
they've made because they're you. What the fuck? Oh, gotcha. Rimi grinned, satisfied. Was she an otaku, maybe? I chuckled a little. This silly little conversation. But it was a lot of fun. I never really talked to a girl like this before. For some strange reason, I felt like I could get along with Rimi. Didn't you talk to Yua like this before? Gotta make sure... I gotta make sure my ahoge is on point. For the anime bitches. So the next word slipped out of my mouth
レ
naturally.
ミは魅力
I
的
do
だよ
think you're attractive. Huh? Huh? Remy flew back in an exaggerated gesture and turned bright red. It's kind of embarrassing to hear you say it to my face. But thank you. Hearing you say that makes me really happy. A trillion gazillion times happier than hearing it from Daichin.
1億兆なんて
A trillion gazillion isn't a real number. Well, you should still be able to figure out what it means. It's just to give you a sense of the scale of how happy I am. Must have been what a normal kid's life is like. Having conversations like these every day. Every day must be fun and fulfilling. The whole world must look different. But I couldn't be like that. The real me couldn't even look at Remy. I was just staring down at my desk silently. I hated my own cowardice. How depressing. Taku. Since I wasn't saying a single word, Remy seemed a little scared when she talked to me. But I couldn't even react. From her perspective, it must look like I was ignoring her. In my mind, I knew this wasn't right, but I still couldn't bring myself to do anything. You okay? This time I nodded, desperately. Probably looked really weird. I see. Good, I guess. Her tone was gentle. It was impossible to believe, but she was actually sticking with me through my silence. She wants to know if I'm okay, huh? And suddenly I wanted to ask her, when she'd seen me in front of 107, how had the world looked to her? From the fact she hadn't brought them up, she might not know anything about the people disappearing from Shibuya, or Shogun in his wheelchair. Did that really mean they were a part of my delusion? I wanted to ask Remy that, but I didn't feel like I could raise my hand and ask any more questions. Not today, anyway. I wasn't ready. I'd ask next time. Next time I came to school. Yeah. That was it. I'd take some time and think about everything I needed to ask. Huh? Hey, Taku. Orihara's coming over here. The transfer student? Why would she be coming over here? Was she going to get mad at me for not helping her on the stairs? She didn't look like that type of girl. Maybe she wanted to talk to Remy. Or me. Not me. The transfer student stopped right next to Remy. She wasn't saying anything. What was going on? With Remy here, I couldn't look up. The transfer student's feet seemed to be nervously fidgeting, but she didn't say anything. Orihara, what's up? For some reason, she put a single bandage down on the edge of my desk. It was a fancy one. It had a weird character. Ghetto Froggy on it. Huh? Is she giving me this? I wasn't sure how to react to that. This student, Kozue Orihara, was a bit of an odd one. Well, don't cry, Orihara. Was she crying? Was she crying because I didn't say anything? But she didn't say anything either, right? I don't think Taku's mad. Remy backed me up. It felt strange. I don't know anything about Remy, but she knew all about me. He doesn't really like to look into other people's eyes. He's just shy. So, you don't need to be nervous, okay? Huh? You're giving me a bandage too? Thanks. The transfer student bowed and ran back to her seat. I don't really understand what that was about, but Taku, you should accept gifts when someone gives them to you. Why had she given it to me?
梢ちゃん
Kozue's really quiet. I could sense Misumi coming back.
転校初日に
I showed her around the school on her way here.
うわ
You went after her already?
まだ出してねえっつう
I haven't really gone after her yet.
んで
Anyway,
まあ
I showed her around for about an hour, and it was just me talking the whole time.
で延々と喋
It
り
was a
続けた
little exhausting.
しかも
She would break into tears all the time, too.
そうそう
Yeah, she just started crying here, too. I was really worried that something might have happened.
そんだけピュアな
She's just got a really pure heart.
タク
Hey, Taku, you understand, right? How everything she does is really cute?
お前流に言うなら
It's what you'd call moe, right?
なんだ
What?
嘘でも我慢
Are
し
you
て
holding in a shit or something? I shook my head as hard as I
タ
could.
クさっきから
Taku hasn't said a
喋
word
ってく
this
れ
whole
ないん
time.
だ
That's because you're here, Rimi. I'm not ready to talk to you. I never really talked to a female friend before. I never even had a female friend.
でもさ
What was Yua?
折原さんと話
But
して
you
る
know,
と
when I was talking to
なんとなく
Orihara,
思った
I
んだ
kind
け
of
ど
felt
彼
like
女と話してると
talking to her would tire you out, maybe. I don't know.
女子ってのは
Girls are
同性
brutal
に対
to
して
each
容赦
other.
ねえな
Don't worry though.
ま
I'll protect
小杖
Kozue.
ちゃんは
ほんの数十秒前に
Didn't you say talking to her was exhausting a few seconds ago?
うっせ
Shut up.
小杖ちゃんは
Kozue's got the same smell about her as Taku. That's the kind of person you feel you need to look out for.
それは
Oh,
わか
I
るか
can
も
kind of understand that. Sound of the bell told me that all my classes for the day were finished. As soon as I heard it, I packed up all my stuff and headed out the door. I wanted to get the hell out of here as soon as possible, partially because of the awkward distance between me and Rimi, but also I had something to pick up at Manga Darake today. In the end, I was never able to say a word to Rimi. I'd had several chances to talk to her, but I kept silent the whole day, just like I'd done in the morning. Maybe that was mean. Maybe I just made it even harder for her to talk. It felt like maybe I was only making things worse.
あ、お兄
Oh, brother! I heard an annoying girl calling out to me as I left the school building. Nanami ran up to me with a trash can in her arms. She seemed to be in the middle of taking out the garbage. Why'd she have to bother me then? I tried to ignore her and leave, but as always, she refused to let me go. Nanami yanked on the hem of my blazer.
妹見て逃げるな
How many times do I have to tell you not to run when you see your sister?
なんだよ
What do you want?
なんだよじゃない
Don't ask me that.
お兄が逃げるから
I ran after you because you tried to run away. Don't run after me if you don't even have anything to talk about.
相変わらず家に
You never call home, for one thing. Well, I've already given up on that, though. I can't expect you to be actually considerate. Good, you understand. That's the kind of intellect I want to see in my little sister. Not that I need a little sister at all.
というわけで
So, from now on, I'll be going over to your place every few days. Again? Okay, it's clear that she wants to go see him. But I mean, you were already doing that, and then your parents got him the phone. You know, the way she said it was as if it's a new thing, but it's clear that she was already having to do that. Whatever. Crap, I should have known how this was going to end up. Won't somebody rid me of this obnoxious little sister? No, if that was impossible, I wanted to at least get back at her a little. I wanted to get back at her for a long time, actually. Wait, I had an idea. I had a plan I'd been working on for a while. Just my chance to put it into practice. Maybe it would give me a little bit of vengeance. I looked around to make sure no one was watching, and then beckoned Nanami to follow me into the yard. What?
ちょっと
Come with me.
なんで
Why? Is there something there? Man, she was annoying. Can you just shut up and follow me? I need to ask you to do something important.
頼み
Something
何
important?
が
You want me to do something? Her eyes were wide with
珍
shock.
しいじゃん
That's rare. You never asked me for anything.
とに
He's
かく黙って
selfishly
ついてこいって
selfless. Well, no, he's just selfish. I was gonna say he's selfishly selfish. He doesn't ask her to do anything ever. But no, he's just selfish. He wants his parents to pay for his living expenses and never speak to them. The bum.
ちょっと待って
Hey, wait! Like, the only reason why he didn't want a phone is because he still doesn't want his parents to talk. He doesn't want to talk to his parents. But he wants them to pay his bills and give him his own place. He's just a bum. There weren't that many people in the yard. At lunchtime, it was filled with students eating lunch. Nobody but the gardening club would bother coming here after school, though.
で
So, what is it? She put her trash can down and looked at me with a smile.
条件はマクで
Oh,
終わ
but
り
you have to buy me dinner at McD's. Do that, I'll help you.
だけど
Even though I don't really want to.
聞いてあげる
She was so annoying. I didn't think she'd want me to pay a price for it. Especially since I'd already bought her McD's. Well, whatever.
わかった
Fine, I'll buy you McD's.
本当
Huh? Really?
今日のお兄
You're
ちゃん
different than your
違う
usual
ね
self today. I was actually lying. Sorry for being a liar. I handed Nanami my cell phone. Then I asked her to call the number. 03-733-991. The one that a prank called me.
着歴の
You want me to call a number in your call history?
相手は
Who is it?
ネットの知り合い
Somebody I know online. She looked at me suspiciously, so I came up with the most plausible sounding lie I could.
どうして7がかけ
Why
る
do I have to call?
かければわか
You'll
る
know when you do it.
なんか
Are
企ん
you
だの
plotting something? Jeez, would you shut up? Just shut up and do what I tell you, whore. If you can't do that, then leave. I don't need disobedient bitches in my life.
じゃあもうお前には頼まない
Fine, I won't ask you. Tried to take the phone back, but Nanami pulled her hand away from me.
あ、わかった
Fine, I'll call
出
it.
るよ
I'll just have to call the number, right?
ほんと
Really, you can be such a selfish brother. Truth bomb! Boom! You don't get to talk. I held back my anger, gulped as I waited for her to call the number. Nanami innocently put up the phone to her ear and waited for someone to answer. I could see the yellow bangle on her wrist as she held up the phone. That was the one I gave her, or more precisely, that she'd taken from my room. She was wearing it to school? Did she like it that much? That cheap bangle I got for free? Nanami really did have a terrible fashion sense. Maybe I was one to talk, though. No, that wasn't important right now. Who's going to answer the phone? Some scary DQN guy? I hoped it was a prank, and had nothing to do with Shogun or Yua.
もしもし
Oh, hello? Someone seemed to have picked up. Nanami had spoken into the receiver. But she soon furrowed her brow. She offered the phone
お
back to me.
兄
Brother!
なんだ
What?
なんだじゃないよ
You know exactly what. It says number is not in service.
Eh?
Huh? I took the phone and put it up to my ear, and I heard what it was.
おかけになった電話
The
番号
number you have dialed
現
is
在
not in
使われており
service.
ません。
Please check the
番
number
号
and
をご確
try.
認の上
It's true. Maybe it really was just a prank then. Maybe whoever was behind it would call a bunch of random numbers and prank them before ditching the phone and the number they were using. That was a lot of work for a prank. Well, I mean, you could just prank Walmart by driving the carts around, yelling 6-7, riding bikes. Let's go prank Walmart by riding bikes and yelling 6-7. Now that I knew the mysterious call was just a prank, I felt much safer.
ねえ一体
Hey,
何な
what
の
was that about?
も
I'm done.
うお前
Huh? I left Nanami behind and started to walk, but Nanami followed
ど
after.
ういうことか説明
Explain what that was about. Shut
お
up.
前
Bitch.
掃除中だろ
You're on cleaning
ゴ
duty,
ミ
right?
箱を置きっぱなしだぞ
You left your trash can. Oh,
ねでも説明聞いてな
but
い
you
もん
didn't explain.
僕は帰る
I'm going home. Nanami grabbed me, but I ignored her and started to quickly walk toward the school gate.
お兄じゃあマク
Okay,
には
brother,
約
just
束だ
don't
からね
forget, you owe me Mac
ちゃん
Keys.
と覚え
Don't
ておいて
forget,
よ
okay?
知るか
I don't know what you're
ち
talking
ょ
about.
っと
Hey,
嘘つ
did
い
you
た
lie
ね
to me?
まあな
Yeah, I guess.
う
Nanami came to a stop, pouting.
お
But I
兄
kept
のバ
walking.
カ
You fucking asshole! She screamed loud enough for everyone to hear. I looked back annoyed. She was glaring at me, shoulders
お
heaving.
兄なんて携帯
I
の
hope
電
your
磁波の影
I
響
hope
で
your fucking
脳みそ
small
が
ass
カスカス
dick
され
is
て
chopped
死ん
off.
じゃ
I don't even know where I was going with that. crap. Thanks to Nanami's yelling, I was starting to attract attention. I had to go unnoticed at school. What a fucking bitch. I headed for the gate at a jog, ignoring her. The best move at a time like this was to run, bitch! Run! It's so weird. I haven't seen it this close, so her mouth feels weird, large. I could hear her screaming even outside the gate.